For Pacifica Radio, I'm Teresa Wierzbianska. As President Donald Trump continues his executive orders, Democratic leaders are pushing back, and they're suggesting Trump is a loser when it comes to court challenges to his policies. Christopher Martinez reports.
President Donald Trump's rapid-fire moves to restructure government, reshape society, and even redraw maps are continuing with no sign of let-up, but Democratic lawmakers are increasingly stepping up in opposition. Congressmember Pete Aguilar of California is the House Democratic Caucus chair. He says House Democrats had a productive caucus meeting Wednesday morning.
Leader Jeffries laid out our path forward as we push back against the chaos and the corruption that we've seen from Donald Trump's White House. One thing is clear, with Trump and Republicans in control, America will be less safe and more expensive.
Aguilar spoke at a news conference with caucus vice chair Ted Lieu of California. He described Jeffries' plan as having three parts: a legislative strategy, a mobilization strategy, and a litigation strategy.
To that end, over 25 lawsuits have already been filed. We expect that a number of these actions by the Trump administration will be reversed because all the courts have to do is follow the law.
In addition to those 25 lawsuits, California has set aside $25 million in a fund for suing the Trump administration.
Donald Trump does not have success in the court system. I mean that both governmentally and personally.
Reporting for Pacifica Radio News KPFA, I'm Christopher Martinez.
Stunned Palestinians rejected Donald Trump's proposal to expel them from the Gaza Strip so that the U.S. could take over the territory and rebuild it for others. Many saw the comments as an effort to erase them from their homeland, a continuation of the expulsion and displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from what is now Israel during the 1948 war. Palestinians displaced during the Israel-Hamas war have shown a powerful determination to return to their homes, with hundreds of thousands during the current ceasefire flooding back to neighborhoods devastated by Israeli bombardment and offensives. Rami Almagari reports from Gaza.
In Gaza City, Palestinians say the latest remarks by U.S. President Donald Trump suggesting that Gaza's population could be relocated and the territory turned into a Middle Eastern Riviera are unacceptable. Kazim El-Khatib, a resident of Gaza City, says he and his family refused to leave.
We are steadfast in our land and will not leave under any circumstances. Thank God we have endured until the last moment. Even after losing a family member as a martyr, we remain here. This is our homeland.
Suad al-Masri from the northern Gaza Strip lost both her husband and her home in Beit Hanun.
I am against Trump's remarks. I stayed in the north with my family and my people, despite everything.
Ahmed Al-Haj, another resident of Gaza City, says he expected Trump to take a different approach.
I expected more from Trump. He's a businessman. I thought he might have pushed to end the war. But as for forced migration, I don't think people here will leave. If we were going to, we would have done so already, at least to nearby Egypt.
Trump's latest remarks contradict his earlier statements during his inauguration speech when he pledged to support the reconstruction of Gaza. For Pacifica Radio, KPFA, I am Rami Al-Mighari in Gaza.
Protests erupt across the nation against the Trump administration. Outside the U.S. Capitol, hundreds gathered to protest the dismantling of the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID. Kennedy Cuello reports.
Lawmakers and United States Agency for International Development employees joined a protest Wednesday in opposition to Trump and billionaire Elon Musk's plan to dismantle the USAID. USAID is a government agency that delivers humanitarian aid to foreign nations to increase American soft power influence overseas. Chris Milligan, an employee of USAID for 30 years, described the organization as essential and combated claims that it was full of, quote, radical lunatics.
Radical because we engage in a world with compassion, with American values, not only lifting millions out of poverty and oppression, but making America safer and making jobs back here at home. Lunatic? Lunatic! Well, we volunteer in war zones. We are in the most dangerous and challenging places around the world.
Some lawmakers, however, were met with chants of "What's your plan?" accusing the Democrats of not doing enough to stop Republican control. All USAID employees are set to be placed on leave and will be demanded to return home Friday. For KPFA News, I'm Kennedy Hoyle.
And I'm Teresa Wears-Bianska for Pacifica Radio.